Supreme Court allowed the writ petition in the matter of Sunil Kumar Singh versus Bihar Legislative Council in the following terms. The objections raised by the respondents against the maintainability of instant petition was rejected. Issues raised in this petition, the court said, do not fall within the restrictions in the Article 212(1) of the Constitution of India. There is no absolute bar on the constitutional courts to examine the proportionality of the punishment imposed on a member while reviewing the validity of the action taken by the House, said Supreme Court. The punishment meted out to the petitioner was highly excessive and disproportionate due to the nature of the misconduct committed by him. The period of expulsion already undergone by the petitioner shall be deemed as a period of his suspension from the House and will amount to be sufficient punishment for his misdemeanor. Accordingly, the Supreme Court set aside the impugned report of the Ethics Committee as well as notification of the BLC only to the extent of nature of punishment it recommended to be imposed on the petitioner. The petitioner was directed to be reinstated as member of the Bihar Legislative Council with immediate effect. However, he shall not be entitled to claim remuneration or other monetary benefits for the period of his disbandment. The petitioner was entitled to such other perks and privileges which any other similarly placed MLC is entitled to upon completion of their full tenure. For limited purpose of post tenure benefits, the petitioner shall be deemed to have served as MLC for the entire tenure. Should the petitioner indulge further in such misconduct or upon his reinstatement, the Supreme Court left it to the Ethics Committee or chairperson of the BLC to take appropriate action in accordance with law. As an upshot of the foregoing, press note which was issued by Respondent Election Commission declaring by-election for the seat earlier held by the petitioner was quashed and any action taken pursuant to such press note was annulled. The controversy arose from the allegations of unparliamentary conduct by the petitioner, including use of derogatory expressions in his capacity as MLC within the House of Bihar Legislative Council. This conduct of petitioner prompted initiation of proceedings against him by Ethics Committee. The allegations were found to be substantiated, leading the Ethics Committee to recommend the petitioner's expulsion from the BLC. Subsequently, a resolution to that effect was passed by majority of the members of BLC formalizing the decision to expel and relieve the petitioner. The petitioner was a member of the political party known as the Rashtriya Janata Dal. He was elected as member of BLC on 29 June 2020 for a period of 6 years. He was also nominated as the chief whip by RJD in the BLC. The elections for 17th Legislative Assembly in Bihar were held in November 2020, wherein a coalition government comprising Janata Dal United, led by incumbent Chief Minister along with RJD, and the Indian National Congress was formed. This coalition, however, wedged apart in January 2024, and a new alliance between JDU and BJP was entered into to form the government in the state. As soon as governor's address was completed, and during motion of thanks, the petitioner and another MLC, Mohammad Sohaib, approached the well of the house and hurled indecent slogans against the chief minister. They mocked him as Palturam, imitated his body language, and sarcastically remarked that the man who has not contested a single Mukhya election till date is the Chief Minister of Bihar. The petitioner then alluded to the Chief Minister as an expert in manipulations and insinuated that he was just like a snake sheds its skin every year. This indecorous fracas led to the proceedings of the House being indubitably obstructed, followed by the complaint on 19 February lodged against petitioner and Mohammad Sohaib before the chairman of the BLC by fellow MLC belonging to ruling party JDU. The petitioner did not appear before the Ethics Committee on the date fixed and instead sought exemption, citing engagements and scheduling conflicts due to the onset of Lok Sabha elections. The petitioner did not even join in the subsequent proceedings and continued seeking exemption from appearing for one or the other reason. Dr. Singhvi and Mr. Sankar Narayanan canvassed the following grounds. The expulsion of the petitioner from the membership of BLC was violative of the principles of natural justice, fair and just play, as the relevant material material, including the video clip containing his transgressions, were not furnished to him. Petitioner was denied access to the material evidence on the pretext that the proceedings of the House are confidential and could only be pursued by him during the meetings of the Ethics Committee. The petitioner was thus caused inexorable prejudice in the matter of preparing his defense. The Ethics Committee unilaterally and deliberately advanced the date of hearing to 14 June 24 without his knowledge. Petitioner has thus been condemned unheard and in a matter which seeks of malice and amounts to gross illegality. Petitioner has been hammered with severe punishment disproportionate to the attributed misconduct and also in comparison to another MLC, Muhammad Sohaib. It is settled law that a graded approach is required where the court is disciplining its members. Deviation from such an approach as the case of petitioner is not based on any sufficient material and disproportionate punishment imposed on him falls foul of the fundamental rights enshrined in Articles 14, 19, and 21 of the Constitution of India. While opposing the writ petition, Mr. Kumar advanced the following submission. The writ petition is not maintainable. It is liable to be dismissed in terms of Article 212(1) of the Constitution. It is prerogative of House to regulate its business and procedure, and the decisions so taken cannot be tested on the bedrock of proportionality. The Ethics Committee adhered to the principles of odi alteram partem as petitioner was given reasonable opportunity of being heard. The petitioner cannot raise the plea of proportionality and seek parity with the MLC Muhammad Sohaib for the reason that the latter duly appeared before Ethics Committee and cooperated in the proceedings. The petitioner has a habit of degrading the authority of the House through his indecent and unparliamentary acts for which he was earlier also suspended from the House.